All right, hello, fellow Magapedes. This is the Anon of the Week, episode 2, in which I interview Anons from the thread, talk about anime and politics. Here with me today, I have Aquafriend. You all may know him for his famous waifu Aqua, and he is here today to discuss things.
Oh,
Aquafriend.
hey guys.
Hi. All right,
What?
so Aqua wanted to discuss blood sports and politics before anime. He cited that he will become a stuttery fuck whenever I start talking about anime, so keep that in mind. So first, we're going to talk about blood sports.
Sure. What I wanted to say is that Joaquin is a fucking retard. He sucks SLF dick. So everyone,
What, you mean Joaquin?
just Joaquin, yes.
Don't bully him
Joaquin.
too much. I know the black pills got to him last night. It was a little much. He was a little upset in the DMs, but we'll see what happens going forward. I know just a little bit of blackpilling was maybe he just couldn't handle it that night.
Yeah, I just wanted to let him know because I'm sure he will watch this episode. So I just wanted to bully him a bit.
You're so mean. Okay. The what other streams do you watch usually out of the Bloodsport streams? You just watch whatever's on as your pastime?
Depends. If the committee is doing something good, then I watch it. But most of the time is just Tonka failure. Failure. I don't know how to pronounce the name.
Yeah.
And it's just so boring because they are talking always about Twitter drama. It's like, oh, Jeff Holiday said this, Jeff Holiday said that. Who
Yeah,
the
I
fuck
agree.
cares?
The Twitter drama Tonka gets into. I'm followed on Twitter. I follow the guy on Twitter. It's just like he just debates random fucks all day and then whines about them on his show. It's kind of cringy. I don't know. Sometimes they
Yeah,
have good guests on, but yeah, I don't usually tune in.
if I was Tonka, I would kick failure and make Jim my co-host. He
Jim would
will,
never do
you,
that though, but
yeah, but he will gain so much money instead of failure. I think he's a low energy guy. So boring, honestly.
I mean, it's Tonka's friends, and if Tonka wants, have friends on it, just talk about shit. He just seems to be
Yeah,
fine. He
yeah.
doesn't care about being more successful, entertaining. He just wants to do that show, and people like it. So,
Yeah.
besides that, do you watch
What
Andy?
else?
And do you watch Andy whenever he goes on, or
Yeah. One of the I also watch Backyard Bro Sports. One of the streams when everyone was talking about traps. I quit because it was so unbearable cringy. It was like, oh, trap this, trap that. Then I noticed in the thread, someone was talking about another guest, and the conversation and the talk went fine, but I just went to sleep because it was so fucking cringe.
yeah, the stream where Andy took over the liberalists and basically just started about talking about trap porn the entire time. I mean, the joke got old, but it was funny.
Yeah,
Right, well, the first few minutes at least. It is hilarious how Andy cucked the liberalist movement
yeah,
completely
it is.
within one fell swoop.
It is.
But yeah, we overplayed that joke on BYBS. I just went along. I knew that joke was fucking overplayed, but the fucking cringe lords who are my co-hosts went along with it, so I also had to.
I can understand Ankap just following around because he
He's an
does for the
ANCAP.
money. Yeah, yeah. He just he want that child prostitutes and the nukes. I
Yeah,
can understand that.
an army of a heroin child army. Heroin fueled child army is his goal. That's where all the money's going to go to, as we say. Uh, So what do you think about BYBS? Do you like certain episodes over others, or do you think it's just become like an celeb shit show?
Oh, it depends. Leo is he knows a lot of shit, so I love listening to him.
Yeah,
I also like what else? Diogenes and and the guy and you mostly because
Oh,
the
thank
rest.
you.
Oh,
How sweet. Yeah. Mostly we try to avoid celeb drama. Diogenes just likes fucking going on about his day at the rope fantasies, and then
yeah,
fucking Leo Pirate's
yeah.
just very smart, and yeah, I don't like talking about that shit.
Yeah, there was a stream where Leo Pirate was just talking about religion, and I was so comfy, and then Joaquin bring that stupid frog, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
uh, bring him a stupid what?
The stupid frog meme guy.
Oh, AP. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like, fucking yeah. Just the cringe lord from Tonka stream that like is just like basically Sargon if he was less successful and made shitty cartoons and then had boomer level humor. I'm like, okay, not
yeah,
throwing
yeah.
shade on the guy. Yeah, whatever.
How many times can you repeat Alfred and then it becomes
Oh, the blue whale. Oh, the
it's
blue whales with
yeah,
legend.
it's just so cringy.
Like, yeah, come on. Like, if fucking Joe Kim enables that boomer humor, and ANCAP doesn't do much to stop it. So, you know,
Yeah,
that's kind of that partly motivated my dick flinging yesterday. That kind of made people rage quit, and why I sort of supported Joel, the nihilist troll, just to bring things back in line a bit, just to have some justice in the world for the e-celeb, e-drama, boomer humor level streams.
I think he's not entirely wrong with his point of view because when the world starts growing population, the cost of a human life starts to decrease. So you can see China when people just die on the streets and nobody cares.
Hmm.
There will be a point where you will see a baby die and you will just continue with your life. It's kind of sad, but it's I
So
think
you're fully
it's
black-pilled. You feel that political advocacy and struggle is pointless.
no. I don't think if people want to struggle and make the better world, I don't care honestly. I just watch the war and just try to point out the cause of every mistake is going on, and that's it.
And basically, that's fundamentally what all these alt right personalities are going to end up doing. Is you're going to be a fucking 100,000th of a percent of the influence in a certain era, and maybe the tides of history and change, and then some elites will fucking support you, and you'll get your movement done. But fundamentally, you as an individual are not like some protagonist of an anime. You're not gonna change the tides of history on a planet of 7 billion people. You're fucking one out of 333 million in this country, and if you don't have a shit ton of money, your individual contributions don't actually matter. So really, functionally, at least because of the free riding collective action problem, not being politically activist is basically the same. It's going to be up for the actions of everybody else. It's going to be a collective action problem that determines political outcomes and the change of history. So as long as people don't get a fucking big head and deluded about they're going to be the new fear herd, they're going to be the new fucking whatever the fuck, and lead things into like a new political destiny. That's real being really big headed, like fucking naive. It's like some DeviantArt tier fan fiction shit.
Yeah, but I don't see any problem with people trying to improve,
Yeah,
trying to
I
improve
don't have any problem
themselves.
with people political advocacy. I have a problem when it goes to their head and they don't fucking understand that their actual physical empirical percentage of how they are actually affecting the world. They don't understand like the sheer plurality of politics and money going on. And I just had to like remind some people, daily reminder.
I think the ultimate point of view will be like trying to spread your genes and that's it. Because in the end, we are just animals with some kind of intelligence. So if you try to improve yourself and make sure your offsprings have offsprings, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So what do you think about neat nationalism?
I think it's not entirely good because you could combine. I mean, you could try to talk with people, and if they agree with you and not paying taxes, I think that will be much better.
If they just work and don't pay taxes, well, you can't. Well, the thing is, if you don't pay taxes, the government throws you in jail and shit like that. So,
Yeah, but if you manage to have a huge if you have one second. If you if you manage to combine a large population to to try to not pay taxes, I don't think the government can do shit about it.
well, it's less like the taxes are one aspect. Basically, you want to force the government to make an egregious change, whether it be destroying welfare or or making some law that racially discriminates against whites, so you can openly use that in for your as fodder for your ethno-nationalist movement. Uh, Either way, the, out of the avenues of political change, it's going to take way too long to do it the traditional way. It's going to be like fucking 2070 by the time you guys have enough money accumulated in interest groups and all this shit to actually take over like the Republican Party and have all this infrastructure and all this other shit away from the corporatists who currently run the country. And I just say you need to do something a little more radical, and that's just drop out of society, starve the companies of only the base level survival consumption, be as Amish as fucking possible, and and then eventually they're going to have to change their strategies, either be to be more fucking conciliatory to you, or I mean there's things they could do, like they could do a diversionary war, and then try to draft all the people who are defecting and being neats. That's something they could do, but that's also political fodder for your ethno-nationalist movement. So like if there's an unjust war of a draft, you can easily use that to try to as momentum. Or if they do like a law, oh we're not going to give political economic assistance to whites, then yeah, then that's another rallying point you can have. So at the very least, it'll create rallying points, and it's more effective than trying to accumulate wealth over 50 years to try and compete with billions of dollars of fucking interest group money. At least that's how I feel.
Uh, yeah, but I don't agree with violence.
Yeah, I don't either, which is I support neat nationalism over all the like the fucking the military coups and all this other shit that these extremists on whatever political end want.
Yeah.
So see how long we've been going. 17 minutes. All right, so have you
Oh,
watched
you.
what's his face? Fucking did you watch the Nick and Sticks debate on religion?
Yeah, yeah. The thing about that debate is that Nick accused Sticks about being a satanic, and he wasn't, and then he accused of being an atheist. Atheist?
Atheist, yeah.
Yeah, atheist. And then it was like, what the fuck is he doing?
Yeah, Nick. Basically, when I was listening to Nick, it was just like I was reading Facebook from some Catholic. It was just all the Facebook level Catholic arguments, the zingers he tried to use to convince an atheist that you're right. But honestly, it was paling in comparison to fucking Styx's knowledge on his own on the religion that fucking Nick ascribes to. So. Nick then tried to attack him on political grounds, but then it really didn't go much either way.
Yeah, and the thing about Catholicism is that it's Christianity and adopted by the Romans, so it has some elements about paganism. You know, the Saint Valentine's Day is a Roman holiday. It's about sacrificing a god and just pulling the
Yeah,
intestines and doing weird stuff.
and fundamentally, people who are religious just I feel like if they're not vaguely religious, like they're not a deist or a Gnostic or something like that, then, and if they believe in actual one particular dogma, they're denying that what is very clear if you just study the religious texts and then the historical record along with that during that time and so on and so forth. These are just texts being written in the time to appeal for mass appeal. They're like the original pop fiction that forms the like basically fan clubs in society that then then become the moral backbone of society. And it used to be that there were just many competing gods, and like in the Babylonian times and shit like that, there were just many people writing about all their religions and shit. And if it was convincing, people would like it. They'd build a statue, they'd make a shrine or whatever. Uh, and just because that became more centralized and there was more like finally like the Hebrews crafted very fine detailed works that held all these archetypes and appealing things, but ultimately they're just works of fiction used to control.
Yeah, I think centralization of religion, like the Pope, is just cancer. Everyone should. There's a thing that Leo was talking about, 7 bad tips. I think it was. It's like Catholicism, but without a Pope.
Yeah. I agree. Whenever I talk to Catholics, like they're the most cringy of the Christianity. I always argue with my Catholic friend about shit, and he's like, "Well, at least my Catholic friend believes the Pope is an anti-Pope." Nick doesn't even believe that.
Yeah,
He's cucked.
I think he's just a Marxist infiltrate.
Yeah.
Infiltrates the Catholic Church, and he's trying to corrupt itself. Like every Pope did shady stuff, but he's just destroying the religion from inside.
Basically, and honestly, it's telling that Nick doesn't believe it's an anti-pope. That he thinks like he's just trying to like hand wave away the current pope's actions, saying it's like, oh, just God works in mysterious ways. And that's sort of where Leo here is right, that the Catholics just like ignored the devil, and it sort of made them cuck made and kind of some weird like there's no free will, just God works in mysterious ways sort of meme religion.
Yeah, but it's not only that, but the tradition in itself. Like if I go to my nearest church, it will be like, oh, gay marriage is okay, and Islam is okay. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? 50 years ago, there wasn't a thing about gay marriage or accepting migrants here. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, there a lot of Christianity has become cuck made. There are some sects that have not made they remain not cuck made, but fundamentally they as an institution have fallen to the wayside and just been completely subverted by the secularists and the like the consumer Jewish sort of morality.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna try to think of some more IBS streams that might be interesting to talk about.
Oh, I don't know. I thought about talking about transhumanism because there's a thing about people changing their genes, and it's kind of frightening about the future.
People, what do you mean, like people editing their genes? I haven't seen any of the
Yeah.
like I don't think that works. Like I think all the things that have been going on so far are just like people basically LARPing is like, oh, I'm gonna inject myself with this RNA. To change your genetic code, you'd have to like change every cell in your body, or the localized cells for whatever area you're trying to change completely, and that would greatly increase the rate of fucking of mutation to basically almost guarantee cancer if you're doing it when you're already alive. I could see editing cells to like a baby, but like editing cells when
Yeah,
someone's
baby.
alive, I don't think is possible really.
No, that's what I mean. A baby changing. Like if you had a son and you were a billionaire, you will make sure that the baby had the best genes, so everyone in the society won't be able to compete.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. That's going to be a thing in the future where people have like genetically modified babies and turn them into furries and shit, uh, which will be funny, I guess.
Yeah, but I think the elite is going to be able to do that. Like, it's the future, from what I've seen, is like a caste system. I think it's pronounced like the Indian system, where every ethnicity had like um were superior to others. I don't know if you know what I mean.
The caste system.
Yeah, the caste system.
So you think that's going to be the future? We're just going to live in like castes based on our like genetics and
Yeah,
society is just going to be a
because
massive clusterfuck.
there will be like a huge population where everyone is a fucking nigger, and there will be the semi elite and the elite. So, and the elite, those two groups will be changing their genes to remain there. I think that's what's going. That will be the future.
Yeah. There's a lot of dumb bad shit that's going to happen in the future. It's going to derail most of the plans anyone's making now. Uh, So besides that, do you think the transhumanists who think they're going to upload their mind are complete naive people, like they're just cultists following Ray Kurzweil?
No, I don't think they'll be able to put their minds on kind of like PC bodied. I think they will just change their genes and that's it.
Yeah, I always found that the mind uploading thing to be completely unrealistic. Like the only
Yeah.
way would have to be like keeping your brain encased in like a cyborg body somehow with like a super advanced technology. But I don't see making like mind uploading. Also, if you do mind uploading, it's gonna be a copy of you, not you, and you won't get to experience it. So it's like pointless, anyways.
Yeah. One guy in the chat asked about Thomas Ligotti. I don't know who is this.
He has the
Maybe is the guy with the puppets of Metalcore? Like the guy who started to sing about Kyrgyzstan?
Thomas Ligotti and his puppet nihilism. I haven't read Thomas Ligotti, or I don't know who he is, so I can't really
I don't
comment
know
on
either.
it. But I'll look into it later, and maybe we'll discuss it some other stream. Uh,
Sure.
let's see. Let's see what else what the chat says. My
They're
body is
saying
ready.
that
I
I
want
have.
AI cat. I want AI cancer. Cat girl trap no state. Okay. Oh, Legati's
Yes,
conspiracy. Okay, I remember. I know that book title, "Conspiracy Against the Human Race." Okay, that. Yeah, I need to read some more shit. I don't read that often.
Yeah, I have to read too.
Uh, all right, you want to transition to anime discussion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So what are you watching this season?
I'm watching Derlin the Franks, Overlord, and Nanatsu. Nanatsu no Tai, something like that.
That's it. That's all you're watching.
Yeah, this season kind of sucks.
What do you mean? There's so much good slice of life and comedies on. There's so many. You got Yuru Camp.
I,
Got Ramen Daisuke Koizumi-san. Look at all these good shows.
they, I don't know about that. They seem kinda moe, and moe for the sake of moe is just like what why am I even watching this?
Well, I mean, Moe shit is enlightened. Watching Moe anime is like a meditation experience. You gotta be
Yeah,
on a certain state of mind.
but it has to have something instead of just moe. That's what I mean.
Well, I don't know. I can enjoy any slice of life anime just because I enjoy the atmosphere and the character interactions, but some people can't. So we're watching Darling the Franks Overlord, and what's the last title? Nana say?
Nanatsu is kind of like a shonen show because normie friend wanted to watch it, and then I say, yeah, sure, I watched it.
What's the title again?
Nanatsu no Nanatsu,
Nanatsu no Taizai?
something like that. Yeah, I think so. Kind of like these cringy shonen things.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't watched Darling in the Franxx because I usually avoid harem shit, and Trigger has been disappointing, so I don't usually watch shit when it's airing. I wait for reviews. How do you like it so far, or do you not like it?
No, I just watched two shitposts on A. Honestly, there's only two characters that are interesting in that show, and that is the main world and the cockpits. The rest of the characters are like generic stupid shit. So I'm like, why even watching this?
Yeah, that seems to happen with Trigger is they have some interesting settings and shit, and they got like some interesting ideas, but they just fail on the execution, and time again. Uh, and then Overlord. I've also been watching Overlord. It's kind of a boring season. The adaptation, I think they're not being liberal enough with the adaptation. They're just doing it like page by page, and they need to be more liberal with how they're adapting it to make it entertaining. Because a lot of it's just boring downtime and all these side characters. But I still think the world itself and like the setting's interesting. It's just that it's been a boring season.
I mean, the side characters are fine. I don't like the lizard things, but the other characters are kind of interesting, in my opinion.
Somebody in the chat asked what my favorite anime movie is. Honestly, I'd have to think about it. But I'll recommend a good one, which is Jinro the Wolf's Brigade, which is about like Nazi death squads in alternate history Japan. So that one's a cool one.
Oh.
So what do you say your power level overall is, Aqua? Have you watched like a good amount, or are you just watch like one or two normie shows a season?
I normally watch 2 or 3 animes per season, and I don't have a huge background on anime. I started to watch anime when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Initial D. What's the name of this? The Shinji one. I don't remember how it's called. The robot one with Shinji and
Oh,
Asuka.
Evangelion.
Yeah, and I watched it again like 5 years ago, and I think it was overrated in my opinion.
I think it's really good. It is a little overrated though. People lend it like it just has a lot of psychological themes and it's well shot and put
Yeah,
together. But it like fundamentally the story is pretty straightforward.
I think the main problem with that show is that it has a huge fan base.
Uh,
So every time you try to criticize something,
People will jump down your throat.
yeah.
But I mean, as far as I would say, it's like a well above average. It's like a 8 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's just it's not
Yeah,
the grand masterpiece that
not
people
a
say it is.
masterpiece.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah, I agree.
competent, well put together, very artistic, but it just lacks the like the core like a core message and follow through.
Yeah, I remember the 2 last episodes. You have to have a high amount of IQ to understand that.
It'll be too deep for you if you don't have enough IQ. The
Yeah, I,
Julius Caesar asks, "Are there any actually good animes coming out these days?" Well, if you like slice of life, there's plenty. Slice of life being just like cute girls doing shit in various situations. That's more of like a niche thing. If you're into more like actiony plot based anime, I would recommend a recent one is Yojo Senki, where a guy gets reincarnated as like lolly Hitler in World War I Germany. It's pretty interesting.
yeah, I think that's the pole anime because it covers the 2 main things. The first one it will be like World War, and the second one will be like transsexual team.
Yeah. Is it gay? The fuck Tanya? Yes. Probably.
I think Tanya is gay if you fuck her.
Wait, no, but well, wait a minute. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. If Tanya consents, she is a gay lord, but you're straight
Yeah,
for doing
yeah.
so.
It's like trap,
So it's
but
only the salary man who would take some penis is gay. That makes sense.
yeah. I can see him taking dicks for money, but overall, I think he's kind of gay.
I don't think he has to do that anymore with his position in the military, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I haven't read the light novels haven't been translated as much, so I don't know where it is, where the story
No,
is.
I usually don't read that much.
Have you read the light novels of Konosuba since your waifu comes from there, or do you just watch the anime?
I watched the anime. I started to reading, but it's kinda lame. I think the quality of the writing is kinda noob level, because I'm used to read about history and
Yeah.
high level shit.
The light novels are usually just sort of like pop trash fiction. I read a
Yeah,
lot more of it than I probably should admit to reading, but I just enjoy it because the Japanese have this. The cliches are so embedded in their writing that it's almost entertaining to see how they'll take their cliches or when they're going to like the stupid reincarnation story cliches are going to pop up. It's almost funny seeing how formulaic it is, sort of like a B movie. At least that's what I get out of it. Some of the stories are pretty decent. Depends on the story. I haven't read the Konosuba
yeah.
novels because I thought the anime was mildly funny. I didn't think it was like that good of a show.
From what from what I have read on A, it's like the eighth volume starts to go to shit because the writer just um, he puts the main character with Megumin and just stop being funny and it starts to become a romance show.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, I'd prefer that to just having the vague harem teasing the entire time. I'd understand it's a comedy, but I'd rather at least them bother to resolve some romantic plot thread instead of just cucking the viewer and then at the end just having some like meme shit happen.
I think the main shit will be fine if you write some sort of spin-off about the main character going to each one of the gears, and that's it. Like when the guy of ReZero write about an alternative ending where the main character goes to REM and just escapes the hellhole.
Yeah, Ray Zero is also one of those overrated shows. Hold on, I gotta let my dog in. Try entertaining the stream for like 10 seconds.
Yeah, so what's up, chat? No, I think it's back on. Oh, I don't know what to say. What do you want me to say? I don't have a camera.
All right, I let my
Oh,
dog in. Sorry for leaving you there.
let's talk about ReZero because the show was kind of entertaining when the main character just started to die, but when the show goes with the plot, it's kind of boring because I don't know. The waifu shit about ReZero is kind of cringy. I think it's better
Like
when
Romelia. What's her fucking name? The
yeah,
the main girl,
Emilia. I think
Amelia. Yeah.
yeah. So when when the main character just starts to suffer and die, it's like yeah, I want to watch this shit.
Why do you like Aqua so much? Isn't she kind of like a retard?
I think she's cute because in real life I'm not a really emotional guy, and I think she covers every aspect I lack of. I think that's mainly.
Her voice actress actually acts like her in real life. It's pretty funny. Uh, like does like the
Oh,
same
I
like
didn't
cringy smug shit. I'll link a
I didn't
video
know
for
that.
you after the stream that you might be interested in. So where it talks about
Sure.
her. Uh, so you just liked Konosuba's comedy, and then you just liked Aqua as a character. I mean, they are well written characters comparatively. That's why it did so well. It's just because as a comedy, it's better written characters than Japan mostly puts out.
Yeah, and comedy is only of the Konosuba is one of the few shows that have made me laugh, because normie friends have tried to show me GTO and this kind of funny show, and just I'm like, where's the fun? Honestly, I don't know. I have a weird taste on anime.
Really Big Dwarf asks, why you have a Yuna doll? Isn't she a retard that punches things really hard? Well, you see, Really Big Dwarf, they haven't made the doll of my waifu, so I just had to get the doll from the show that was available, which is Yuna. Yuna's fine. She's kind of a retard who punches things, doesn't talk to her friends, but, you know, you can take what you get. She's fine. She's cute.
I have I haven't bought anime merchandise because I mostly dislike how it looks. So if I spend some money, it's because it's something I really like.
Yeah, I kind of like the Nendoroid guy in chat is saying, Cry me rivers, job bully. The I just like the Nendoroid, how the Nendoroid looks. It's like it's just clean, embodies the character. Usually has some good detailing and design, and it's like pretty affordable too. They're like I think I usually shipping and handling straight from Japan. I never paid like more than like $40 per an Android.
Oh, that's fine, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So besides Konosuba, what anime have you watched in your past that you think are worth talking about?
I don't know. I'm currently watching Space Dandy and what's his name,
That show's pretty
Fate
decent.
Apocrypha. Yeah, I think Space Dandy is kind of fun because I enjoy the colors of the entire show.
No, no, really
Just
big dwarf. I don't do push-ups and shit. I really should, in honor of the waifu, but I I am a weak fool. I used to work out a lot more, but after college I fell off the wagon.
I think that's the icon of Destiny that he used to shitpost here because he's called a really big dwarf. So that's my theory.
So it's Destiny shit posting.
Yeah, it's Destiny.
Okay. I got sidetracked by the chat. What was the show we were talking about?
Space
Oh
Dandy
yeah, Space
and Fate
Dandy.
Apocrypha. Yeah,
Uh,
I enjoy the bright colors and the funny stuff. I don't know. And Fate Apocrypha because I let the fucking meme run over me. And honestly, I have watched like 3 episodes, and I don't understand what's the deal about this thing. It's like a bunch of characters with European names fighting each other and with huge swords. It's like, what the fuck is this?
yeah, the fucking the Fate series. It's based off a porn game, and I tried reading the porn game once, but it just like the story was so boring that I dropped it. And then there's all these anime based off the Fate series. It's so popular for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Uh, and people shit post about like the power levels, like it's DBZ or something. I just don't see the appeal.
Yeah, I think that's cringy as fuck. Posting the power level and trying to argue which one is stronger than the other is kinda what the fuck are you doing with your
I mean, it's
life?
a classic A thread topic, but yeah, it is a little cringy
Yeah,
to literally watch hundreds of hours of a series just for that aspect of it.
Yeah, I don't know if you have noticed the A threads are like out of the entire thread, out of the entire board, like 20 threads are about um, shonen shows, and it's kinda what the fuck, where these people came from.
Yeah, it used to be there was only like one shonen thread ever on the board at the time, and if there ever got more than that, people would double post the shonen thread into fucking oblivion when double posting was encouraged and allowed. I miss those times. I fucking miss those times where you could
Yeah,
you could Bateman bomb a shit thread and the mods would be okay with it, and you just like bomb them into oblivion of fucking Patrick Bateman checking his dubs. Uh, but I think it with the change of the inclusion of a inline catalog, you're going to have general threads all the time, and once you have general threads, some people who would usually get bullied by the most of the populace of the board can just like hide in their general thread. And this is
yeah,
something about 4chan in general. Once the inline catalog is on a board, people are going to make generals because it's so easy to navigate and like just have your general be supported. And now it's become that general threads are sort of the norm thread, and then the sort of off topic random discussion threads are less common, which. It's give and take. There's some general threads I like the Yuki Yuna general is one of the best accumulations of Anons in the entire site. But and so it's nice being able to hang out with only the highest of high quality Anons. But on the converse, you have cancer fucking communities like fucking Shingeki no Kojin or Attack on Titan
yeah.
threads, and it's just like, well, at least we have gated communities, but you fear that it's going to overflow and ruin the overall board, you know?
Yeah, I think it works with Paul because Paul is like 20 threads about black ticks. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, at least we have somewhere to say something, but the rest of the board, I don't think the generals are that constructive.
Well, the problem about poll is it's basically just fucking boomer. Uh, it's like boomer bait articles, like shit to make boomers respond, and they apparently respond in hundreds, in droves, because we're filled with fucking Are the Donald idiots and boomers now. And then they have shill
Yeah,
posts, and it's just like poll, like the general poll thread is so nonsense and garbage now.
Paul after the Donald Trump election has become complete shit. I mean, during the election cycle, we had a lot of Reddit migration, but
Yeah.
now it's unbearable.
After the end of the Republican primaries, poll is dead, and it's been dead since then. It might revive at some point, but ever since the end of the Republican primaries, after that whole shit fling ended, poll has been dead. Like zero original content, basically just like shills and boomer threads. It's been a complete shit show.
Yeah, and I remember when they put the flags on. We used to be like 2 to 3 spine anons from Paul, and now it's like 20. And I'm like, where the fuck did these people came from?
Oh, one topic I forgot to ask you about. What do you think about Catalonia?
Oh, it's the politics. It's just a huge smoke bomb. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like the politicians are deceiving the Catalonian population to want to independence because it's the elite who are oppressing the Catalans, not the Spanish government. So it's just a bait,
It's a
a
bait.
form of
It's a meme.
saying, yeah, yeah, it's a fucking meme. It's just a form of saying like, oh, we are being oppressed, you know.
Yeah. The uh, I always found I support any separatist movement worldwide because I'd rather those get popular and we start having like balkanization in the modern world, because I think it'd be much easier and preferable to live in little balkanized states than it would be giant overreaching states. But yeah,
Y-
as far as their grievances, yeah, they're kind of just a meme.
Yeah, overall, I think it's fine, but the entire Catalonia uh, politics are about uh, conservatives, and then you have the huge sweeping left. You know, the extremely left, like
The commies.
yeah, the commies. So it's
Uh,
kind of shit. Like they are going to run the country to hell if they become independent.
yeah, just like Scotland. It's funny that both Scotland and Catalonia are like a bunch of like independent-minded commies who want their little commie state, which is it's kind of
Yeah,
weird how that works.
it's mainly because the central government is kinda right, but it's not far right like Franco is. It's like conservative levels.
Yeah,
So
well, yeah,
they are
European
trying
governments
like
are like basically our Democrats.
yeah, they are Bernie Sanders level of economics from what I see.
Yeah, like the Europe does not have a right wing anymore, uh, and and that's basically and it's really concerning whenever talking to people who idolize Europe or come from Europe and are blue pilled because they just love the state so much. The state is like everything to them, and they want the state to
Yeah,
solve all the problems.
that's why I prefer America, honestly. Because if you took a bunch of Europeans and put it in America, they will start voting or Bernie Sanders or like was of Democrats party like Hillary Clinton, honestly.
Yeah, it's just that once the communists won with they basically somehow subverted all of Europe, academia and leadership, and then the globalists got on board with the whole you know egalitarian state sponsored
Yeah,
gives me that thing, because they knew that they could have there'd be a population who is not going to be self-degrading enough to just drop out and like have it collapse like the Soviet Union, because white people don't want to do that because they have this pride. But I think that's misguided because if you're because why would you ever work in one of these countries when your money is going to all these people who are just like scum of the earth? Like, why would you ever help contribute to that? Like, I would never do that.
yeah, and it's not only about Muslim; it's about gypsies too, because most of the money goes to these people, and they are given houses, and they just destroy the houses and go back to living in a fucking park. So it's kind of shit.
Yep. And this will be the future: is lower class minorities paid to vote and exist, and then all these white people subsidizing them into infinity.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think we should be talking about anime.
oh,
We
back to
switch
anime.
to politics.
Well, I mean, we
Yeah,
can. It's fine. We can switch. It's an anime politics stream. We can switch freely whenever we want. Uh, I just want to
fine.
have an organic conversation, fill the time, talk about interesting topics. Do you have any more anime you want to talk about?
Um, I don't know what else I could talk about. You
Uh,
say a name of an anime, I
well,
might
I
know
just don't know what you've
who.
seen, so.
Um, well, we can start back to when we start. When I start watching anime. Like I was 5 and I started watching DBC and Evangelion and Initial D. What else? There were some sort of shit. So after I grew up, I watched Yu-Gi-Oh and that's pretty much it. So
Yu-Gi-Oh.
yeah, I fell for the fucking meme cards.
Yeah, I just watched like whatever was on Toonami back in the day, and then eventually I got onto like watching anime on streaming sites and shit before I got to A.
Yeah, I was usually a beater until like 5 years ago. I wasn't on news, honestly, because I thought the board was about news. So when Paul became a thing, I was like, what is this thing? So I
I didn't hang
after
out on
that.
New all the time. I did hang out on it for the WikiLeaks stuff and some other shit. Uh, but yeah, New was I definitely say it was more like it was much more like a small board of like smarter people talking about shit than it was a big political board. It was always a kind of like a tiny board before
Mm.
poll.
Yeah, I saw it kind of boring, so when Paul became a thing and just the threads about Nazi and weird stuff like that started to spring, I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I want to read more. So
Desire to know more intensifies.
yeah,
Have you seen Starship Troopers?
I don't know what is that. Maybe
The the movie about like the space fascists like killing all the bugs and like the space marines killing all the bugs and then has like the cheesy like propaganda stuff. There's a lot
is that
of
a
meme
Western
images
movie
from that. It's a
or?
Western film, yeah.
I don't think so. I have
Okay,
watched
I'd
that.
recommend it. Although it's sort of trying to make fun of fascism, it ends up not doing a good job of making fun of it. So people kind of use that as their uh, as their
Yeah,
unironic fascist belief.
it was backfired to do that sort of stuff, like with American X history. The same shit
American
happened.
History X, yeah.
Yeah,
They wanted it to be an anti-racist film, but then basically the ending basically says, well, you're gonna be racist
fuck
anyway, buddy.
niggers. Yeah, fuck niggers. Honestly, that was the message I took from.
Yeah, it's not a bad message. Niggas gonna nig.
And yeah, when I stopped watching anime when I was teen. I dropped Yu-Gi-Oh and just play games until I was 16, and then I started watching more anime back then.
Yeah,
So that's when I became a huge weeaboo.
I didn't really become a weeb until like junior year of my high school. Like I didn't really watch anime seriously until then. Uh,
I started watching when I started dropping the game because I was playing like a huge esport games. I didn't become a professional, but the moment I hit my cap, I was like, well, there's no point to keep playing.
yeah, understandable. I've always played games with a group of buddies who just like being competitive and shit, and then like shit talking each other. So that's usually how I enjoy games. Is we get on and like shit talk each other. We'll play like shit like Mario Party sometimes just for the ultimate shit talk.
Yeah, the only game I play normally is Siege. No, not the book. I know there's some sort of Polacks that know about the book, but the game. It's a shooter with
Yeah,
breakable
Rainbow Six
walls.
Siege. I've played that before.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, I think it's a pretty decent game. I just don't play it that often. There's just some aspects of it like I don't enjoy, so I don't play it that often. I prefer like Quake style shooters.
Yeah, Quake is fine. The thing is that it's kinda old, so
Yeah,
there's not a lot of people playing it.
there's
And
not.
if they're playing it, they are like
They're like
professionals.
autistically good. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's no point playing that game.
yeah. I'm mediocre at Quake against the current veterans, and but the game I'm pretty good at least shooter wise that I play that also has a small population now is Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, and I just play a lot of that, and that's fun to play. Just
No,
for
I
like
wasn't
modified
a.
rules.
I honestly wasn't a. I wasn't a huge fan of first-person shooters until I started playing Siege because Siege has some cool mechanics.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, I do agree. Siege is a pretty decent game. It was like a shit show when it came out, and then they actually bothered fixing it, and now it's like a mainstay of a game for shooter fans. So it's like the one good thing Ubisoft has done in their history in like the last fucking 5 years. Do you think games are getting better or worse?
you got up. What did
Do
you
you think
say?
games are getting better or worse?
I think they're going. They're becoming mediocre. I would say. There are not games that are that good coming out.
I would agree. I would agree that the since it's become this giant industry, there's like no AAA games that are good. They're all just like mediocre, like shitty Marvel movie type games. And then the indie games hasn't matured enough to the point where there's like a new renaissance of indie devs who can do some actual good shit. There's just a lot of shitty indie devs with like early access garbage.
Yeah, and also the games don't they lack the taste on video games because most of the normie are playing Overwatch and these fucking card games
And
that can just
MOBAs.
fuck. Yeah.
And I've played MOBAs and I've played MOBAs and I've played them all just because they're popular and people want to play them. But it's like fundamentally, it's not a skill intensive fun game that you can play for years.
Yeah, I think the best MOBA currently is Hero of Stone because you
Oh,
can
I love
jump.
Heroes of the Storm.
Yeah, you can jump, play a game, and pretty much that's it. There's no huge. It's such a fucking casual game
Yeah,
that
the
it's
Heroes of
just
the Storm,
entertaining.
the characters are also pushed to the brink where they can be like crazy as fuck
Yeah,
compared
it's
to other
not
MOBAs, and
like
I like that because they're
yeah,
less powerful overall.
it has the sense of Dota 2, but without being League of Legends.
Yeah, yeah. Returning to anime, uh, have you seen? You've watched 2 to 3 a year. Have you seen many magical girl anime? That's sort of my forte.
Many
Magical
many
girl.
what? No, I have in my list to watch Madoka, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Madoka is that it's sort of a subversion of the magical girl genre, and so you don't really get the full effect of that sort of thing unless you've watched like the normal example, like a Cardcaptor Sakura or Sailor Moon. Uh,
I mean, I have watched caricatures, and that's show when I was kid, and that's pretty much it.
yeah, I don't know what, if the Spanish dub is. I think the Spanish dub is more accurate than the English one.
I,
Uh,
I I don't know what to say, honestly.
Like I remember in the English dub, they cut out. There's Clamp, the fucking the creators of it. There's like some weird relationship shit going on in Cardcaptor Sakura. So for the English, they censored like most of that shit. I don't know if they
Oh
kept that in for the Spanish ones. Like, so you remember the tall guy with the gray hair was like fucking gay for Sakura's brother, and then there's like that one little girl in the class who like had the hots for the teacher, and then they cut out some of the shit where Tomoyo was being fucking gay with Sakura all the time. I don't remember.
no, I don't fucking remember anything about
Yeah,
that.
there's some weird shit in unedited Japanese Cardcaptor Sakura, which is kind of why I enjoy it so much. It's because it's like this is a kids show, right? There's like some like weird fucking degenerate fucking relationships going on in the background that add some fun entertainment.
Yeah, and going back to games with a bit of anime, have you played any visual novels?
What's
Well,
that?
visual novels, the
Oh,
kind
visual
of
novels. I've played a good amount
yeah,
of them.
the
I mean,
only
that's I'm
visual
writing one right
novels.
now.
Mm, the only visual novels I have played that are not really like visual novels are like Sengoku Runs and what's the name? Monster Gear Quest, the three parts.
Sengoku Rads. What's the other one?
Monster Gear Quest.
Oh, Monster Girl Quest. Monster Girl Quest is a
Yeah.
masterpiece
Yeah.
of a game. Uh,
I honestly enjoyed until the second part because the second part just gives that tension, but the third part is like it just the game turns into a horror game because there's no thing such as Monster Gear Quest, Monster Gear anymore. There's just monsters.
yeah, I like Monster Girl Quest is a really good game. Uh, it is a sexual journey I suggest anyone takes if they're not afraid of being a prude. Play Monster Girl
Yeah,
Quest, jerk off when you want to, and you'll take this journey, and you'll arrive on the other end more enlightened being.
I mean I'm a huge normie when it comes to fetishes, so there's a chance you become like B after playing it.
You might
But
become
if I
V, but you can
yeah,
also just appreciate it at the other end without losing yourself. It's part of the journey.
I think there's a risk you can become B because the game has so much fucking shit, a huge wall of flesh trying to trying
Yeah.
to.
You're not like when you get if you fucking lose the Beelzebub, you're not supposed to jerk off to that scene. Word of advice. You're supposed to say, "Oh God, this is disgusting," and try to like click through it so you can try to beat the boss again. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah. That one now on chat says Tamino is best girl. I would agree. Tamino is best girl.
I prefer Alice, honestly. Snakes are the best.
You like Alice?
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Granberria too. And
The
her
thing
her lizard.
about the thing about her is the fucking tail is such fucking. It's such a weird concept because it just there's one scene that it swallows you and it's like what the fuck, and it's one of the first scene of the game. So I was like impressed because I had such an army taste. So
You found V for Vor.
yeah, I found before Bor.
Yeah. I do recommend anyone in the chat still watching do play Monster Girl Quest. You might have been turned off by us talking about it, but if you're not, look into it. Interesting game. I played a
Yeah,
lot of visual
it's
novels besides that, so I could recommend
apart
some.
of that. Apart of that two games, I have played like the one with the Creepos girls.
The one with the
I
what?
don't know what scala. With the Creepo girls.
Oh, Katawa
Creepo?
Shoujo.
Yeah. And I
That one's
play
okay.
one road, and that's it. I didn't play
You
all of
didn't
the
play all the
routes.
routes? Yeah, I think I only played like 2 routes
Yeah.
out of that game.
Yeah. I played the one with the bird girl,
That
and
game
that's pretty
was
much it.
Baby's first visual novel back when it came out on from A back in the day,
Yeah.
and it introduced a lot of people into the genre back then, which is fine because I mean I think visual novels are underappreciated. I wish they would catch on in the West because they let you do long form sort of like uh, trashy but interesting
It
fiction.
requires you a lot of time.
Yeah, but
That's
people have
my
a lot of
only.
time. I think Doki Doki Literature Clubs got really popular just because there is a market out there for this sort of this trashy long form fiction in like in a visual novel format. It's just that the normal fiction is so cucked that nobody reads it anymore. So if you can, yeah, I think there is an untapped market for visual novels in the West.
Yeah, but it has to become interesting. I think in the West, there's not such a thing about waifu roots
Yeah.
like those. Yeah,
Well, people did like Doki Doki Literature Club for that aspect, and they did waifu all the girls, but I don't know that I, a lot of the YouTubers played that shit, so that's kind of also why it got popular.
yeah, it was featured in PewDiePie channel. I couldn't watch because PewDiePie was making such weird noise, so
do,
that's pretty much
do you
it.
watch PewDiePie videos?
Sometimes.
Yeah. I've just like checked in on him occasionally to see how 1488 PewDiePie has gone. Uh, and I feel like he's been red pilled like hard as fuck when he hides it.
I think he could single-handedly turn the Swedish election just by himself. He just makes a video about the current politics of Sweden sucks and pretty much repeals the entire country.
Maybe if PewDiePie ran for election, he could win in Sweden. He would have
Yeah,
enough international support and money to do it. So maybe he'll one day realize his power. Maybe we'll see. He fucking was reading Nietzsche and Jordan Peterson. Uh,
yeah, Meme Peterson.
Meme Peterson. Fucking Jordan Peterson. He's just a cult leader at this point.
I honestly like these Bible lectures, but that's pretty much it. I don't
Yeah.
buy it in the making your bed
I've watched a
and
lot of his lectures, and it's just like, well, he's smart and they're interesting, but he's kind of like a senile boomer where he just goes over the same shit about like the fucking Lion King and Pinocchio. and fucking other same anecdotes to support his points, and it's just like, okay. I'd rather if he would just go into the technical details of Jung, but he rather use Pinocchio and the fucking Lion King. It just makes him seem a little bit silly. Uh, that and his political neutrality is sort of just like a non-stance, and that's why he's popular, is because he's so neutral.
He's trying to bring the normies into politics because when you say some pop culture and mix with politics, it's just like instant normie.
Yeah.
I think
You know,
he's
the Lion
much.
King is plagiarized from a Japanese film. You know about that?
No, I didn't know about that.
I forgot the name of it. Hold on, let me look this shit up. In the meantime.
And you're making me like kinda nervous because the chat will start saying shit like, "Entertain me, please."
Oh, yeah. It's Kimba the White Lion is the film that came out in 1950, or it was a manga that came out in 1950, then had a television series and a film in 1966. So before the Lion King came out, and there's literal frame by frame copying by Disney of this film, Kimba the White Lion. And it's just like the same story and the same characters, except they just fucking copied that shit and like did better production value. And honestly, fucking Disney are a bunch of Jews.
I agree.
They thought nobody would know if we copied this Japanese work, and they were right. Nobody did know. The greatest crime, the greatest story never told.
Yeah, you should open a thread and poll saying about this. Will make people woke on the Lion
Kimba
Quest
question.
and yeah.
All right, we've gone for about an hour 11. You want to wrap it up? Have any closing statements you want to say to the BYBS crew about anime?
I don't know. If the chat has any questions, I could answer them.
Okay. If anybody in chat wants to talk about some shit, we'll do that.
Yeah, let's wait for 1 minute, and if they don't respond, let's just end this.
Academics, please respond.
Academics.
JP's goal is to keep normies out of politics. Look at his comments about white identity and how bad Hitler is. He talks to Joe Rogan about white men playing IP will win, so he doesn't want us to play. Yeah. It's such a fucking meme stance to take on identity politics. That just don't play it. It's you're in a prisoner's dilemma. You're gonna have to play identity politics at this point, or you're gonna have to eradicate all identity politics. And one of them is much more tenable to do than the other. All right, thoughts on
because
lefty poll?
The second one, it includes like the Paraguay route, mixing every bit of population and turning your country into Brazil.
Yeah.
Lefty poll. I think they're better than normies because at least they have a board culture. But honestly, the autistic shit about raiding other boards is
raiding and doxing
kinda,
and all this other shit they do.
Yeah, it's kind of cringy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, when they have the implicit support of like academia and all this other shit, so they're not afraid to like actually commit crime because they know they can actually get away with it with all the academia and shit supporting them. Especially in Europe. In Europe, Antifa is basically just like a state-run terrorist organization.
I agree. In Spain is, I think is coming at this point because the entire youth is literally or apolitical or huge leftist.
That seems to be the case in Europe. You're either apolitical and you're tired of shit, but you're not going to like out yourself as like being an opponent to the left, or you're just a leftist, and that's really sad to see, honestly.
Yeah. But apart of that, I think the commie with Sargon, I think the commie had a better chance of, because Sargon just made a fool of himself.
Sargon's an idiot. He doesn't know basic fucking philosophy, or like he's like taking a philosophy, he's teaching himself a philosophy 101 course by reading like Loki and fucking the Communist Manifesto and all this other shit. It is just
And
like
Wikipedia
and
articles.
Wikipedia articles. It's just like you need if he's not Socratically fucking rigorous at all, and it just makes himself look like a fucking retard when he's just a guy who talked about video games 3 years ago, still trying to pretend to be a political larper.
Yeah, I think he should stop being autistic and just try to be like Sticks, because Sticks, I will think Sticks is like the best Sivnat that is around here.
Uh, I do agree Styx is smarter than people give him credit. His shtick about being like an unironic pagan kind of makes people turn off on him, but I think he is one of the more intellectual stiffnecks around.
Yeah. So if you want to bring a normie into politics, just show him Sticks, and then he will start repealing himself, because Sticks is
That is one round in, yeah.
Yeah. The other route is
An atheistic
Jordan
normie, not a
Peterson.
Christian normie. Christian normie would get triggered. If you do it like to
Yeah,
a
probably.
non-religious normie, then they'd probably like Styx. Someone wants to challenge you for being Aqua's husbando.
No, I don't accept challenges.
Don't accept
I,
challenges.
yeah.
That's what you
I
get for
don't know
having a
how to.
popular waifu. Is your waifu's a
I had
slut. She has many
a
husbandos.
yeah, it's kinda weird. I had a waifu before, but I just left. I just left after a few years, and I became an aquafag after Konosuba started airing. Honestly,
so so you dropped your old waifu. Was there a justifiable reason in the canon, or you just get tired of her?
I got tired of anime during a huge a huge time, so I stopped watching anime and then became back, and I
And
just
then you
saw
saw
Aqua,
Aqua, and
and
you're like, oh.
yeah, yeah.
uh, you don't post Aqua in the thread anymore. Are you just scared of getting bullied?
I'm scared of Metacore just bringing these fucking redditors and stealing Aqua from me. So I'm like,
You're scared
if
of
you
them
want to
stealing
steal,
Aqua. Aqua's already a Reddit
yeah,
waifu. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
don't say that.
I mean, it's true. Konosuba is pretty popular among the normie Reddit watching My Anime List crowd.
Yeah, but they stick with the fucking style, no, not Aqua. So it's kind of fine.
So you've been posting. I
So
noticed you post to Tanya and Gabriel instead. You want to talk about Gabriel Dropout?
yeah, I honestly thought that Gabriel was a better anime than Dragon Maid. I
I
didn't
do
know
agree.
there were,
I think Gabriel
yeah,
Dropout is much better anime.
because in Dragon Maid there's only one gear, and that's Kana, and you can waifu her, because fucking child, fucking monsters. So and the rest of the gears are kind of weird. So I don't know.
Reddit likes Megumin. Well, the thing is,
Yeah,
everyone likes Megumin. She's a popular waifu. Everyone thinks 14 is a
yeah.
prime number.
It was 14, the legal age of Spain, until 3 years
You're saying
ago.
Megumin is very
Check it up.
popular in Spain now?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I quite liked Gabriel Dropout. But if you like Gabriel Dropout, which is basically just an average slice of life comedy, why don't you watch more slice of life? Like Yuru Camp is pretty similar quality of Gabriel Dropout, I would say.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just busy shit posting, so I stopped watching anime that
Yeah,
often.
yeah. If you like
But
Gabriel
that's
Dropout, I would recommend Yuri because it's made by the same people, and has a lot
yeah.
of the same shit going on.
I already have it in my to watch list. So whenever I drop this fucking retard show called Fate Apocrita and finish Space Dandy, I think I'm going to watch that show.
Okay, yeah. I do recommend Yuri. I think you like at least the first 2 seasons. You'd like the third season is more of a subdued, less comedic slice of life, but that's also good too if you like that sort of thing, which I do.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. So you think who do you think best girl is in Gabriel Dropout?
I think it's a tie between Gabriel and Satania, honestly.
You don't think Vinay is in the running?
Who?
Vinay.
No, I think he's just generic, honestly.
She's too generic, but she's
Yeah,
Gabriel's wife.
but she's too perfect. I don't know. I don't see the appeal of a girl that's too perfect, honestly.
Well, she's got Gatmo. She's a demon who's terrible at being a demon.
I know.
The Gatmo is strong. It's the Gatmo couple, Gabriel and her wife Vinay. That's why you can't waifu either of them because they are lesbian wives.
Yeah, that's why I prefer straight couples, honestly, because I don't think Yuri is the best choice.
You don't think
I
Yuri is
think,
the best choice? Unenlightened
yeah.
plebeian. Yuri is the route to fucking enlightenment. I will tell you.
I don't know. I think every relationship has to have a penis.
No, whatever you say. If you think that's a straight stance to take, okay. All right, I think we've done a good enough stream here. We're at an hour 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Any actual last words then to the BYBS crew?
02 is shit. Satania is okay, I guess. But the main waifu of the thread is fucking Astolfo.
Salfo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
There are a bunch of Andy Worski, Trandy
yeah.
Race Worski fans. So Astolfo is now the waifu of the thread.
Yeah, I honestly believe that.
All right. Thanks for coming on. This is Anon of the Week, episode 2. I will try to also do this next Thursday, depending on the schedule of the Anon I wrangle in. Just look for it every week Thursday. I'll also try to do this is a tenuous promise, but I'm going to try to do one anime video and one politics video a week. So it'll be one Anon of the Week episode and then one video on anime, one video on politics every week. I'll try to keep that output because I know some people. I have some people who subscribe and likes me from BYBS, so I'm going to try to get some videos for you to watch, fill your fucking time, eat your tendies too. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.
Bye bye.